What if everything you've learned about attraction is actually pushing women away? Most men don't realize this, but their good intentions being available, texting first, responding quickly, always trying to be kind and funny are actually backfiring. You might wonder why, after all your effort, women seem to pull back or lose interest just when you try your hardest to show you care. The answer isn't that you're not good enough or that you need to try harder. The truth is, real attraction isn't about chasing. It isn't about convincing someone you're different or endlessly proving you're not like other guys. Think about it. How often have you felt frustrated after pouring your energy into someone who ends up taking you for granted? How many times have you played the nice guy staying up late to reply, giving endless validation, always being present only to watch her become colder, less engaged, or even bored? This pattern isn't a coincidence, and it isn't about luck. It's about strategy, and most men are playing the wrong game. This video isn't about cheap pickup lines or quick fix tricks. It's about transforming the way you approach attraction from the inside out. We're not here to teach you how to perform or pretend. We're here to help you develop the kind of presence, confidence, and quiet power that naturally draws women in. If you've ever felt stuck in the cycle of chasing, hoping, and never getting the results you want, you're in the right place. Get ready to change your perspective and finally break free from the habits that keep you unseen, overlooked, or ignored. Let's dive in. Why do some men seem to effortlessly attract attention and respect, while others, no matter how well-intentioned, remain overlooked, always one step behind? The answer isn't luck or genetics. It comes down to mindset. The most magnetic men don't chase, they don't plead, and they don't feel the need to convince anyone of their worth. Their power is quiet but undeniable. This is the essence of what Machiavelli might teach about modern relationships. Real power doesn't announce itself. It simply exists. For centuries, people have been drawn to those who exude a calm, grounded presence, a presence that doesn't beg for approval or perform for affection. If you look closer, you'll notice these men don't hurry to fill every silence or explain every action. They don't make their feelings obvious or predictable. Instead, they move with intention and restraint. Their confidence is unforced. Their value is self-assured. This isn't about manipulation. It's about understanding human nature and positioning yourself as someone who respects himself first. Machiavellian power in relationships is not about games or deception. It's about holding your ground and allowing others to come to you. When you embody this principle, you no longer need to chase. Your energy, focus, and boundaries create a gravity of their own. When a man's life is full and purposeful, when he's selective with his attention, he becomes rare, and rare things are always more valuable. Women sense this. They're not drawn to desperation or constant availability. They're drawn to composure, discipline, and subtlety. Think of the men you've seen who always seem to command respect, even when they say very little. It's not what they do, it's how they carry themselves. Machiavelli taught that power is often quiet and unassuming, yet impossible to ignore. In the context of attraction, this means being a man whose presence is felt, not forced. You don't need to explain, overshare, or always be the one reaching out. Instead, let your actions and the life you're building speak for you. This mindset shift is what separates those who chase validation from those who naturally inspire curiosity and desire. Once you understand this, you stop asking, "How can I get her to like me?" and start becoming the man she's drawn to without even knowing why. That's the quiet power that changes everything. Rule 1, don't be predictable. Keep it mysterious. There's a reason why predictability kills attraction. Human nature craves the thrill of the unknown. And when it comes to relationships, this is doubly true. If a woman can always guess what you'll do or say next, there's no mystery, no reason for her mind to wander, no spark of curiosity to keep her interested. Most men, eager to prove themselves, fall into a pattern of being entirely too transparent. They share their feelings openly and too soon. They text good morning every day, always reply immediately, and never leave room for the woman to wonder. But mystery is the oxygen of attraction. Machiavelli said, "People don't respect what they fully understand. They respect what they can't fully predict." In practical terms, this means not always revealing your plans or intentions. On a first date, don't lay out your life story or spell out exactly how you feel. Let her experience you in real time. Hold back some thoughts, some detail, so she's always left with a question or two. If she reaches out, don't always respond right away. Give space for anticipation to build. When she shares something personal, listen more than you reveal. When you're not an open book, you become a puzzle she wants to solve. This doesn't mean playing games or pretending to be someone you're not. It means being selective with what you share, letting some silences linger, and allowing her to invest emotionally in the process of getting to know you. Over time, she'll begin to think about you when you're not around, wondering what you're doing, what you're thinking, how you feel. That's the beginning of real attraction. The men who create intrigue are never desperate for attention. They know their value and don't feel the need to constantly advertise it. When you become less predictable, you naturally stand out from the crowd of men who overexpose themselves. Your mystery becomes your magnetism, and that's a quality she'll keep chasing. Rule 2, valuable presence. In a world where everyone is fighting for attention, posting constantly, commenting everywhere, always trying to be seen, the man who chooses his moments stands out the most. Presence is more than just being available. It's about being valued when you show up. Think about your online presence. If you're always the first to view her story, comment on her posts, or like every photo, you become just another face in the crowd. But if your presence is rare and intentional, you become someone worth noticing. The same goes for real life. If you're always around, always texting, always offering to hang out, even when she hasn't shown equal interest, you're signaling that your time is easily accessible, maybe even less valuable. True Machiavellian attraction comes from making your presence felt, not taken for granted. When you do engage, do it in a way that's memorable. Instead of flooding her with messages, send one thoughtful text that actually makes her pause. Instead of posting every hour, share moments that reflect your growth, your journey, or something genuinely interesting about your life. Let people see glimpses, not the whole story. Quality always outweighs quantity. If you only post on social media once a week, but what you share is inspiring or impressive, it leaves a lasting impression. In conversation, listen more than you talk. When you do speak, be genuine, not performative. Show that you're present, but also that your attention is a privilege, not a guarantee. The less available you are, the more she'll value the time you do give her. This isn't about being aloof or distant for the sake of ego. It's about understanding that value comes from scarcity. When you are selective with your energy online and in real life, you command respect and curiosity. Your presence becomes a reward, not a given. That's when attraction starts to grow on its own. At Rule 3, no excuses, no explanations. There's a quiet confidence in a man who never feels compelled to explain himself. So many guys, desperate to be liked, end up over-explaining, defending every action, and apologizing for things that don't need apologies. It's a subtle way of asking for approval. And over time, it changes the dynamic in the worst possible way. You become the one seeking permission, while she becomes the one in charge. Machiavelli observed that people judge a leader by those he surrounds himself with. In relationships, women judge men by the way they carry themselves, especially under pressure. When you make a bold statement and she gives you a skeptical look, do you immediately backtrack, explain, or apologize? Or do you just smile and let the moment breathe? The man who isn't bothered by misunderstanding, who owns his words and actions without explanation, radiates self-assurance. Consider what happens when you defend yourself too much. You shift the focus from genuine connection to a debate over your worth. You give her power to determine your value, instead of standing firm in who you are. This doesn't mean being stubborn or unkind. It means being centered. If she asks why you didn't reply right away, don't scramble for excuses. Say, I respond when I have the time and space to give you my best. If she questions your intentions, don't try to prove yourself. Let her discover who you are through your consistency, not your words. In practice, this attitude creates intrigue and respect. When you're comfortable with silence, misunderstandings, or even a little bit of tension, you're showing strength. Women don't want a man who's constantly seeking validation. They want someone who's so secure he doesn't need it. The less you justify yourself, the more she'll be drawn in by your unshakable confidence. And that's a quality that's impossible to fake. Rule 4, control your emotions, don't depend on them. One of the most overlooked but powerful forms of attraction is emotional control. Most men think that being open, romantic, or always available emotionally will win her over. The truth is, emotional neediness is the fastest way to lose respect and diminish attraction. When your mood rises and falls based on how she texts, how quickly she replies, or whether she seems interested on a particular day, you give away your power. Women sense when a man's emotional world is easily shaken, it signals that he doesn't have his own center. Machiavellian attraction isn't about being cold or detached. It's about being emotionally selective. You're allowed to care, to feel, and even to be vulnerable, but only with those who've earned that privilege. When you respond to every little thing with heightened emotion, you show her she can control your peace of mind. That might give her a temporary sense of power, but it kills real desire. She doesn't want to be your emotional regulator. She wants a man who stands on his own. Instead of overreacting or overinvesting, match her energy. If she's being distant, don't chase, simply slow your responses. If she acts cold, don't write long paragraphs. Let her feel your absence. Compliment her when it's earned, not out of habit or desperation. Show her you can hold your emotional ground no matter how she acts. This doesn't mean playing games, but it does mean refusing to hand over the keys to your happiness. The most attractive men aren't indifferent. They're just not easily thrown off balance. When you demonstrate this kind of composure, you show that you value yourself first. She begins to see you as a man with standards, someone who won't just give everything away for free. Emotional selectivity is the ultimate proof of self-respect, and it's exactly what makes a woman want to prove herself to you. That's the dynamic where real attraction thrives. Rule 5, focus on self-development. Create your own value. The final and perhaps most transformative rule of Machiavellian attraction is to build your own value, independently of anyone else's attention or validation. Too many men make the mistake of centering their lives around women, letting go of their passions, ambitions, or friendships as soon as a new romantic interest appears. This signals to her that you have nothing going on, that your life is empty without her. True attraction, however, is born when a man is already fulfilled, focused, and moving towards something greater. Machiavelli would argue that power comes from purpose. When you're pursuing your own goals, whether it's your career, fitness, personal growth, or creative projects, you naturally become less available. Not because you're pretending, but because you're genuinely invested in your own journey. This sense of mission radiates from you in the way you walk, the way you speak, the choices you make. A man with a clear direction and a compelling life doesn't need to act mysterious. His life is already magnetic. When you prioritize your passions, you create a world that she wants to be part of, rather than making her the center of your world. You don't text out of boredom or insecurity. You reach out because you have something real to share. You don't give all your time away. You share it as a gift, not a guarantee. Women can sense when a man's attention is a byproduct of his abundance, not a symptom of his lack. Building your own value is the foundation for every other rule in this philosophy. It gives you the confidence to be mysterious, the discipline to be selective, and the strength to be emotionally stable. Ultimately, when you're living a life that excites and fulfills you, you don't have to try to be attractive. You already are, and she'll feel lucky just to have a place in your world. Now that you understand these 5 Machiavellian rules of attraction, let's see how they come alive in everyday situations. Theory alone changes nothing. Application is where the real transformation happens. Picture this: you're on a first date, and she playfully teases you. You probably say that to all the girls. Instead of defending yourself or insisting you're different, just smile and say, I don't say much. You'll figure me out later. You keep it light, keep her guessing, and instantly the dynamic shifts. She's now the one curious, wanting to know more, or consider texting. Maybe you've noticed she's replying slower or sending short, distant messages. The old habit might be to double or triple text, to explain yourself, to ask what's wrong. But instead, you slow down your own responses, give her space, and focus on your life. If she truly values your presence, she'll notice the shift and begin reaching out. If not, you haven't wasted your energy chasing. When she flakes on plans last minute, don't argue or plead. Simply reply, no worries, we'll catch up another time, and go do something productive. Your calm acceptance, rather than disappointment or neediness, speaks volumes about your self-worth. In the gym, at work, or at a social gathering, don't try to be the loudest or most noticeable person in the room. Instead, practice being present, focused, and composed. Women notice the man who isn't desperate for attention, but quietly commands respect. Even online, these rules apply. Limit your social media activity. Post with purpose, not for validation. Let your absence occasionally be felt. Mystery grows when people can't always predict your next move. By embodying these behaviors consistently, you'll see a dramatic shift in how women respond to you. The goal isn't to manipulate, it's to live from a place of grounded confidence that draws others in without effort. When you move this way, attraction becomes natural, and your relationships take on a whole new energy. At the end of the day, true attraction isn't about tactics or trying to win someone over. It's about the energy you carry and the standards you uphold. When you embody quiet confidence, emotional control, and an unwavering commitment to your own growth, people naturally take notice. You stop asking, how can I get her to like me, and start living in a way that makes others want to be part of your world. The Machiavellian approach to relationships is not about coldness or manipulation. It's about self-respect, clarity, and purpose. When you stop chasing and start choosing yourself, when you make your life fulfilling and your presence valuable, attraction becomes effortless. Women are drawn to men who move with intention, who don't give everything away, and who have a sense of direction that's bigger than any single relationship. Let this be your reminder: don't seek validation. Create it within yourself. Apply these principles, and you'll notice not just a difference in your love life, but in your confidence and happiness overall. If you found value here, like and subscribe for more insights on living with power and purpose.